Tai Chi never ends. There is so much to it. It's not something that you just do it and you've got it. As we say, it takes more than one lifetime to really learn what you need to know. Tai Chi's been my life. It's interesting, I started to say it has saved me, and I think that's true. I think that it has given me purpose. It has helped me grow enormously and develop into a person that I'm pretty proud of being. I'm David Shaver. I am 89. I'll be 90 in February. I've been practicing Tai Chi for 37 years and teaching over 30 of that. I'll tell you a story. I had an aunt who, when she graduated from college in, I believe it was 1912, went to Baroda, India, and taught English in a school there. She went twice to India and made a point of going all the way around the world both times and stopping off in China and some other countries. I spent every Saturday with her. And so as a child, I learned that there was another part of the world that was really interesting to me. Then when I was working in the professional theater, there were a couple of actors who were studying actually with Chen Menqing in New York and used Tai Chi as a means of preparation for performance. And that was the first time I really learned about Tai Chi. The first time I saw it was here in the West, but on my first trip to China, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, the first morning, and out in the parks. People were out there at 4 o'clock in the morning already practicing Tai Chi and Qigong. And I was just fascinated. Interested, wanted to know what was going on, why were they moving so slowly, and how could they move so beautifully and slowly. When it made sense was when I finally, after several years of trying to get into a Tai Chi class, when I finally got into a class, it was like I had just come home. I had a sudden awareness that this was what I needed to be doing. As a matter of fact, I have always said, and I think this is actually literally true, that by the end of my first class in Tai Chi, I said, I am going to teach this. It just suddenly, it filled me with purpose. What is Tai Chi to me? Is probably one of the hardest questions that I could be asked. It's always my feeling, because it is so much. Historically, it is a martial art, which is not often recognized because we so often see it practiced slowly, which is the way we begin practicing Tai Chi. But it is, it can be an extremely effective martial art when practiced for that purpose. It's also a really incredible health benefiting exercise. It has been enormously helpful to me over the years. It's part of why at 89 I'm still able to move and do what I do, and teach 4 or 5 Tai Chi classes a week along with other things. And perhaps the most important element to me is its spirituality, because it is a means of spiritual growth and development. It's all a process. And we are continually growing in all of those areas. Certainly my awareness of all of those parts of Tai Chi have grown enormously over the years. But I think now perhaps the spiritual aspect of it has become perhaps the most important one to me. After I'd been studying Tai Chi for about 3 years, my first teacher had each member of the class demonstrate the form. And when I got done, he said, well, you know how to get from one posture to the other, but you still don't understand whole body movement. And in my ultimate training, whole body movement was really core. One of the things that you really had to have in order to not only do Tai Chi, but to be able to communicate to students what they needed to be doing. And very shortly thereafter was when I had my first experience with my teacher, Master Zhou Seung-Hwa. And I went to his Zhang Sen Feng festival, and in the one weekend, he somehow communicated to me what whole body movement meant. Not intellectually or verbally, but physically, how to do it. To the extent that when I came back from that weekend, I was up again 4 or 5 in the morning on Monday morning, practicing and incorporating a sudden realization of a very basic principle. The Tai Chi form that I am personally practicing primarily at this point is the Wu Yu Xiang, or Hao style. In Master Zhou's book, The Tao of Tai Chi Chuan, he says, is the Tai Chi style that offers the greatest potential for spiritual development within its practice. And I think that's really true from what I understand. Master Zhou Seung-Hwa was a great teacher. I had the good fortune that my first teacher had been to Master Zhou's the Tai Chi farm, he called it, for the Zhang Sen Feng festivals, and really encouraged us to go at some point, and I finally did. And as I mentioned earlier, I learned what the term whole body movement meant in one weekend from him. And I was I was blown away by him as a teacher in that first weekend, to the extent that for the next 3 years, before he was tragically killed in an automobile accident, I made the effort to go at least once a month to study with him. And it was a 4-hour drive in each direction to do that. So it was a significant thing for me to do. He understood Tai Chi at its depth. He was truly a master. He really knew how to communicate what he wanted you to understand. And if you really listened and really worked to identify with what he was saying, and showing you, not only saying, but showing you, it was amazing. He was such an example of what one would hope a Tai Chi master would be. He was a very sweet person. He used very, very definite methods in which he felt if you use them consistently enough and strongly enough, you could make things happen. I might just say one example of that really I still clearly remember was he was trying to help us understand the meaning of song, which is a very deep relaxation of the entire body, but not limpness, but really learning how to let go deeply in the body. He had us all lie down on the floor and stiffen up so that basically our heels and our buttocks and our shoulders were on the ground, but everything lifted as much off the ground as possible. And he made us maintain that for 30 minutes. And then relax. Well, we understood relax, certainly, at that point. How clearly that was sung, I don't know, but it was certainly a demonstration of one of the ways he would work. I suppose one of my in a way saddest memories is that at the last Zhang Sanfeng festival before he was killed, I had just set up my tent. I was camping out there, and I came walking down the hill, and he was walking up the hill, and he hadn't seen me yet, and he said, "Ah, David!" And he came up and gave me this huge hug, and told me how glad he was to see me. And I was not one of his major students by any means. I was devoted, but hardly one of his major students. But he was just such a lovely man. He made a huge difference in my life and in my Tai Chi life, certainly. Master Joe, he'd been very dissolute as a younger man, apparently drank a lot, and had developed a lot of very serious health issues that the doctors were virtually saying they didn't think they could help him with anymore. And a friend of his said to him, "Well, have you tried Tai Chi?" And in his 40s, he said no, he hadn't. But he started first with Yang style and must have had very good teacher and very good direction, and certainly practiced assiduously himself, because he corrected all his physical problems in about 5 years through practicing Tai Chi. So he started with Yang, which is probably the best known of the Tai Chi styles, primarily thanks to Yang Cheng-Fu, who really made the Yang style widely known, and both in China and elsewhere, I think, in the world. But Chen's style was originally a harder style. For Master Zhou, it was a demonstration of the first level of Tai Chi training. The one that he felt was a little more physically rather than internally focused. Wu style was developed by Master Wu Yujiang, who had studied with the Yang style, with the Yang family, but he also had some influence from Chen. And when you see a demonstration, you will see some elements of Chen, as well as certainly influences of Yang. That form, Master Zhou felt was really the highest development of Tai Chi. I never really practiced Chen style. I was certainly exposed to it a little by Master Zhou, but I never really studied that style, so I never really learned that. But I did learn Yang style from Master Zhou, so I practiced Yang style in the way that he taught it through for many, many years. The Wu Yu Jiang style I learned from Dr. J. Dunbar, who was Master Zhou's primary disciple. I am eternally grateful to him for that. It is a wonderful style, and I practice it quite a bit. I really think the ideal would be to do what Master Zhou taught, which was to learn Chen style first, and then to learn Yang, and then to learn the Wu style. That was the path to gaining the greatest benefit from it and the deepest understanding of all the aspects of Tai Chi. Because each of those styles has something really important to offer. And indeed, I feel that by not having really studied Chen style, I probably missed a bit at the beginning. I think that that's the ideal way to go about it would be to learn all three would be the ideal. But very few people are going to devote the time and energy to be able to do that. And so probably for many people, as much as they want to develop in Tai Chi could be done from any of the styles. The first time I went to the Shangxin Feng Festival, was one of the people I met was Master Jian Jianyi, who is a master calligrapher, among other things. I had him come and teach workshops many times in my school. He also led my first trip that I took to China. So he was a pretty important teacher for me. He didn't ever replace Master Zhou, but he did kind of expand some of my awareness about aspects of Tai Chi. Someone that had a really powerful effect on me was Master Duan Zhiliang, who I first saw in China on my first trip. He always dressed very flamboyantly, and I saw him in the lobby of our hotel, which was next door to the Chinese opera. And I thought, oh, that must be an opera player. He looks like an artist or something. And to my surprise, Master Jiang walked in with him to dinner that night, and I met him for the first time. He and I had a real connection, even though he didn't speak English and I don't speak Chinese. So a few months later, Jian arranged to bring him to this country, and he taught classes for 3 days in my school, but I also followed him around to all the other schools in the area where he went to teach. He had a huge impact on me, and not in the sense of teaching me any specifics of Tai Chi or even Qigong, although I did practice his Qigong form for a long time. He just helped me understand what it meant to practice Tai Chi. As I saw recently, there are no vacations in Tai Chi. You had to have a real focus that was constant and consistent, and that you could be vibrant and active and amazing at an older age, because that trip when he came and taught here, he was in his 90s. So I saw that it was possible for Tai Chi to make an enormous difference. He was an inspiration. Probably recently the most important teacher for me has been Master Bruce Francis, who I started really studying with after a few years after Master Joe's death. He's been a real inspiration and a real help. He has helped explain to me a lot of things that I had not clearly understood earlier. Probably the most important teacher I had, other than Master Joe, is Dr. Jay Dunbar. Jay and I became and still are close friends. He also came and for 10 years taught several times a year in my school. In particular, one of the things that I learned from him, well, actually from he and his wife Kathleen, was Sanshou, the two-person form that was developed in the Yang style. And that was a really important stage of my development, which I owe very much to Dr. J. He also really managed to clarify a lot of Master Joe's teaching to me, which I had not grasped in my earlier years. Qi is the energy of the universe. It's the energy of everything. It's the energy that helps us understand that we are all part of the same thing. It's also certainly the energy that powers whatever we do as an individual. When you come down to talking about it in specifics of Tai Chi and Qigong, it's the energy that can be developed to be extremely effective martially. It's the energy you can harness to improve or maintain your health. And certainly I feel that it's been enormously helpful to me that way. I was diagnosed 15 years ago or so with extreme arthritic development in my lower spine. I was in enormous pain. And by focusing the qi of my principally Qigong and Tai Chi practice, I was able to eliminate that pain, and I had no pain. After about a month, I had no pain, and I remained pain-free for 10 years. And I had been in extreme pain before that. But it is the energy that is really the focus of what we're doing with most of our work in Tai Chi and Qigong. If we were simply to focus on physical movement, it would be a wonderful exercise. But when you can really ultimately arrive at a point where you can not only feel, but begin to direct the flow of your energy, then you can begin to use it in ways that really allow you to to maintain and improve not only your physical health, but your emotional and spiritual health as well. It's the difference between just being an exercise and being Tai Chi. It's amazing when you feel it, when you begin to really feel it. And I have to say, I will say Dr. J always used to say some people can feel Qi really well and other people just don't feel it as strongly. I'm probably one of those lucky people. I think I've always been able to feel it fairly strongly. I feel sorry for Western scientists who feel that there is no proof of Qi and therefore it may not exist. It is such, it is what makes us alive. And without it, we wouldn't exist. I don't know. It's just so clear to me that I can't accept that somebody has no willingness to even consider it the possibility that it could exist. I was invited to partake in a workshop with Master Henry Wang. This was my only time, really, of working with Master Wang directly. And it had a powerful impact on me because at that stage in my training, and I would have a hard time getting back to exactly how long I'd been doing Tai Chi at that point, maybe 15 years or so. I could certainly feel Qi, but I didn't recognize the power of Qi. I'd read about it, I didn't doubt it, but I had never felt it. And Master Wang started the workshop with having each of us stand in front of a overstuffed chair, which was a good thing, and we would touch our wrists together as you do when you're doing push hands. And then he would say, take any position you want to stand in. And you'd sit there for just a moment, and then, bam, the energy would hit you. And the first time, it hit me right into my dantian and bounced me right into the chair. And he hadn't moved. I hadn't moved until then. I mean, I felt it. What can I say? It didn't matter where you moved your center to. I chose to move my center up into my chest the second time. And so that time I went back chest first. So all of a sudden, I knew what the power of the Qi was. I saw him simply take his hand and drop a young man to the floor and then hold him there by focusing the Qi projected from his palm to the point that the young man could not stand up. It just was mind-blowing at that point. But that was a really important step because it confirmed the power of the Qi for me. There is no doubt in my mind that power exists. Most of us just don't have the guidance or the willingness to practice to the extreme to be able to develop it. Because I think it is something that takes an enormous amount of focus and development. I don't think even some teachers who have really devoted themselves to extreme practice of many hours a day and arrived at a level of being recognized as masters necessarily have that same ability. They have some of it, but they don't have the level that Master Wang had. Master Wang did say that if you were willing to practice, I believe at that time he said 4 hours a day, doing exactly what he said and never missed a day, that you could arrive at that same ability in 10 years. I'm inclined to think he may have been born with a little more ability than the average person, but I don't know. He was, it was a really amazing weekend. Yeah. World Tai Chi Day has been one of the most exciting things I've ever been a part of. Don't know how Bill Douglas communicated to us even about that, but at some point he must have, but since he is the founder of this. A group of 5 of us said, oh, well, this is something we have to take part in. Decided we'd do it at Harkness Park the first year, and did it at Harkness for several years. We did some publicity. I don't remember now at this point how much we managed to get out there, but we had quite a few people. I remember I did a Chensijin workshop was the first one I did that day, and I was astounded by having 30 people suddenly in a class in front of me, went much more than I'd ever had before. The whole experience was so exciting and so empowering that we felt we had to keep this going. I do have to say, Laddie Sisharko took a major lead for many years, I think for about 10 years, in organizing and keeping it going. And it just kept growing every year. I mean, it seems like we had more and more and more people every year. Certainly we had more and more teachers. I'm not sure what the actual total has been, but I know it's been up between 25 or 30 teachers involved in ours. And so it's been a major gathering every year. It's just been wonderful to have that sense that we've been able to reach out and communicate to people that there were a lot of teachers around, and there were a lot of different kinds of Tai Chi and Qigong that could be learned. It's amazing that it's gone on for 26 years. I think I only missed one because I had another important workshop I had to do. So I've been a part of it every year. So kind of amazing that it's been that many years, but it's very gratifying to see it continuing. There is no end to Tai Chi. As we said, you can't learn it all in one lifetime. So I think each person has to decide what their personal focus is going to be. If it is health benefits, then focusing the chi in that direction is the way to go. If it's in terms of developing martial ability, whatever that may mean, it is possible. Certainly, ultimately, one may move towards simply focusing your Tai Chi to spiritual growth. Tai Chi and Qigong can ultimately truly be done as meditation, not just meditative movement. But to arrive at that level, you have to be able to use your energy to do it. It's not just a physical movement. I've been doing Tai Chi for now that I really think about 39 years. And teaching for probably 32 of those years. And it's been probably it's been the happiest time of my life. I've loved Tai Chi, and it has enriched me and helped me in innumerable ways. And I gradually have reduced my number of classes over the years until now I'm only teaching most weeks just 4, which is plenty at this point. And I'm really feeling the need to practice more. And I only have so much energy. I do have to recognize that I'm no longer 40, although most of the time I think I am. But I am gradually beginning to want to be able to really focus a little more time to myself, and feel that most of the students I have now have been with me for many years. And when I say many years, I'm talking about 15 to 30. I have students who've actually been with me 30 years, which has been rewarding to me in that it has certainly indicated that I've continued to grow, because if I'd been teaching the same thing all that time, I'm sure they would have walked away. But it's been an important part of my life, and as with any part of your life, it gradually winds down. So there will come a point at which I will let go of teaching and just practice.